guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs. Welcome back to another show. This is the review show. We're going to review all the games. It's going to say Friday night, lads, but it's actually Monday night. Just before we get into it, just something for the viewers. I just want to know what players may have impressed you so far this season. There's only a few games gone, but we're interested to know down in the comments. So let us know in the comments. We're going to start off actually in Oriel Park, where Dundalk beat Finn Harps by 3-0. I just got some highlights in this. They were quite hard to catch, to be fair, because the games are on Monday night, so hard to get all the highlights. But 3-0 win. Stephen Bradley, 2 goals in this game. Sam Bowen as well with 1. Bradley's 4th goal in, 3 games, lads. Fairly impressive stuff. But Finn Harps had chances in the first half. They didn't put them away. Bradley scored right in half time. Bowen again, 46 minutes. So 2 goals at the right time for Dundalk, and obviously grabbing that 3rd goal. Bit harsh on Harps. I suppose you got to take your chances when they're there, Keno.
Yeah, seeing the highlights myself, just as well, I have to say, I think that Monday night, that LOI TV show was actually decent. I actually enjoy looking back on it, I have to say. But obviously, I wasn't on for this round of fixtures because it was only last night. I think they're actually having one tonight or tomorrow, I think it is. They're having the show for tonight or for Monday.
Yeah.
So I have to say now, I really enjoy looking at that. It's something good, and you can access it anytime you want, type of thing as well. So that's really good.
That's actually important, isn't it? To be fair,
and it's free as well. So I'd encourage everyone to just make an account, even if you never want to pay for the game, and just watch them.
Exactly. You can make an account and just watch it free, so you don't have to pay, in case anyone's wondering as well. Yeah.
Yeah, the game was, look, pressure was on Dundalk here, 2-2 all draws. And they're coming into this, and in fairness, they delivered. Look, Harps had their chances. I've seen some of the chances they had, some really good chances that they'd snap your hand off for in any other game. But look, Dundalk, similar to what Pat's done last year, I think, under Stevie, was score at the right times in games. And I think that was the key for Dundalk. I think in this game especially, they scored at the right times just before half time, and then obviously Sam Bowen got a goal. Look, 2-0, it was comfortable. The minute Dundalk went ahead, really, I think that was it. Bradley looks a player, doesn't he? He looks like he can be really dangerous. So he's a player to watch. They'd be hoping to try and keep him. But, he's a player that early on in the season, for me...
I heard Derry have already made a move.
McGonigal for me is up there as well. A player to watch. I think he's been really good in both games, even last night. Now he's a little bit quieter, but I still think he's a focal point, and that's something that Derry haven't had. But getting back to this game, I think it was 3-0, but it was comfortable. It wasn't a thrashing either. Harps didn't come off the pitch like after being passed around for 45 minutes. They were in the game. They had their chances. They were hard to beat, even at 3. They were hard to break down, So I think I've been looking at Harps now, and I'm kind of getting an indication of how they're going to play, and what way they're going to set up. And I haven't been surprised really. I expect them to sit in a little bit, especially away from home. And, they have players that can hurt you, though. And we've seen that in the first half of this game. And they did have that fair few chances. So, look, it's... to be honest, Harps aren't going to be looking to getting points off Dundalk. They're not going to be looking at getting the points around them. It's the teams in and around them down the bottom that they'll be looking to get points off. If they can get any point away from home against the teams up the top half of the table, it'd be a bonus. But, they're focused on picking up wins against the lower division sides, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm smiling there because JP got a bit of a slagging for saying that Finn Harps would lose 3-0, and it finished 3-0 to Dundalk. So what can you say, JP? But you're disappointed enough in your Finn Harps, to be honest, though, aren't you? I mean, obviously starting the season, 2 games, 2 goalless games from their point of view, and 1 point from the 2 games.
Yeah, but I think they'll be disappointed that they've no goals from 2 games. But I think in both games they created chances.
Yeah,
Cian touched on there in the first half. against Dundalk, they had their chances, didn't take them. And against the top teams, you have to take the chances to stand any chance, especially away from home. Now, I think the UCD keeper on Friday night apparently had a night out against them, and but if they keep creating the chances, the goals will come. And I'm sure Ollie Horgan is too long the tooth now. He'll know that. He'll tell them that. And the likes of Barry McNamee, Dave Webster, and Ethan Boyle, they've been around football long enough. They know that if you keep creating the chances, they'll score goals. They've still got a lot of players trying to get used to the league. I know they've signed Yo-Yo Matty from Shelbourne, who is used to the league, but they've got another striker in from out foreign somewhere. Can't remember where he's
Mihailovic, he's Serbian, yeah.
Yeah. So he's just still trying to get used to the league, used to the style of play, used to his teammates. So I don't think Van Harps will be panicking after losing 3-0 to Dundalk. If in 10 games time they still haven't picked up a point or a one, then maybe they'll start to panic. But I think they will be disappointed, but I don't think they'll be hugely disappointed either.
Yeah, finished UCD 0, Shelbourne 0 at Belfield. And I don't think, to be honest, there's too much to report from this game. You know, I seen an interview actually with Duff after the game, and he was saying that from his point of view, the Shell's point of view, that they were very disappointed with the performance. He thought there was, after the first 10-15 minutes, he didn't feel like the intensity was there, and the game seemed to drift along really. But ultimately, yeah, is it a bad point for Shelbourne?
Can we talk about the sprinkler though? That was great, Craig.
Oh yeah, go on, go.
Did you see our man? Did you see him actually trying to stop it? And it was too powerful, and the wheelbarrow went about 10 yards in the air with the wall, and he had to sit on it.
Brilliant. It was like, how do you describe that? Like, it's just brilliant, isn't it? I mean, you got it.
That happened to me, believe it or not, Keith. Up in I was standing on the sideline when I was coaching.
I'd say someone did that on purpose.
We played up in Talent, and the sprinkler just came on, absolutely drenched me. But look, that was probably the highlight of the game, to be honest with you. And look, look, you look at Shells and you think, 4 out of 9 for a promoted team, yeah. But for the team that they have and the aspirations that Shells are, it's a bad point, in my opinion. Yeah. They didn't lose. They didn't play bad. They didn't play great, but they didn't lose either, which was important. And it's important in this league that
do you think there's enough in the attacking areas, Keno? They look a little bit blunt for me so far in the attacking areas, even in the win against Drogheda. It's hard to say at this minute. I think a lot of teams are looking blunt in the attacking areas. It's not only Shells, and I'm just looking at the team and I'm saying, Shells, for the aspirations that they have, they want to be beating UCD. And I'm not being funny, but every team in the league wants to beat UCD. Do you know what I mean? That's every team in the league wants to see themselves better than UCD, and that's a fact. Every team will want to be looking at them and saying, this is where we can pick up 12 points. And, it's not always going to happen, and that's what we love football. But, I just think Shells they'd be really disappointed with that. It's UCD away. It's early on in the season. Get as many points as you can in these games. Look, they'll be obviously very disappointed with the patch result, and then they bounce back. And then you're saying, if they can get 3 points here, and then they're coming into a game against Derry, you know what I mean? And, can they go and win that then? And I would have. That's the thing. These midweek games, and I think there's a lot of them early on in the season. And anyway, but if you can win your Friday game and you can win your Monday game, you can shoot up the table, or you can really drop down the table if you lose both, And it's mad how to think, but that's how quickly things change. So Shells would obviously be disappointed. UCD would be delighted. I think they didn't really offer too much now. I don't think, going forward at all. Either the Shells really. It looked a poor game. I'm kind of
I don't know. It's games like this that I'm kind of delighted. You don't have the pass, because I would have actually sat there and watched that all day today. And but it's Shelsby looking to set the bar a little bit higher now. And like I says, they got a fantastic win against Drogheda. They're going up then the UCD. They'll be expecting to try and win that, and then rolling into Derry, and then it's a quick turnaround, and you could, like I says, you can really shoot up the table, and you could be talking about winning the league one time, and then all of a sudden the manager's getting sacked within a week, and that's how quick this league is. And I don't think people realise how important these Monday, Friday games are, because it's literally so different. You could be sitting at home on a Friday at 10 o'clock looking at your team touring the table. And then after, just for example, if you don't win 2 or 3 games, you're looking at yourself right down there again, and you're saying, we're never going to get Europe now type of thing. So, it's important. Look, I'm not a fan of midweek games. Well, to be honest, I'll tell you, Lloyd, I'm a fan of midweek games. I'm
not a fan of Monday games.
I actually loved them as a fan, but I know it's no good to players and it's no good to anyone, But as a fan, I couldn't care. I'm happy. I'm saying I don't have to wait for Friday for the next match. So that's the way I look at it. But in terms of the league, in terms of the players, for the welfare of the players and preparation and all that, it's awful, these Friday, Monday games. And you can really feel for clubs, especially the part-time clubs.
Yeah, I mean, JP, interestingly, 2 clean sheets, 2 0-0s actually for UCD in the opening 2 games. And we always talk about the great entertainers. If they don't score, they'll concede a bucket full. But interesting start. I think actually Andy will be happy with that, Andy Myler, to be honest with you. The fact that, apart from the 2 points, the fact that they have actually kept the 2 clean sheets, I think he'll be delighted with that.
I think he will be, especially after coming off a 3-0 defeat to Shamrock Rovers as well in the opening night of the season. So,
I forgot about their first game. I won't lie.
He probably expected a defeat against Shamrock Rovers anyway, but he certainly would have been targeting the Harps game for a result. He got it with a 0-0. Shelbourne, again, he was probably targeting points there again. He's got that as a 0-0. For Shelbourne, I have to agree with Cian for the aspirations that they've got for this season. I think they have to be winning against the likes of UCD, especially at this stage of the season. But I think it was probably similar to the Derry game. It was a victim of a Friday, Monday. Especially this soon in the season. I know in 2 weeks' time we've got the exact same scenario. So that's within the opening 4 weeks. We've got 3 rounds of fixtures, sort of like Friday, Monday, Friday. So I like that, because as a fan, again, you just want to go and watch your team win, whether they're winning or they're losing. You just want to go and support them. But I think at this stage of the season it was a bit much, and Shelbourne will look at this now and they think, right, if that game's gone, we move on now to Derry on Friday night. Can we get on there? And as I say, the season's early. Cian touched on it as well, same as yourself. A lot of teams are still looking blunt, especially at the top end of the pitch. Dundalk are the top goal scorers at the minute. No, I don't think anybody would have thought that after 3 games. But at the end of the day, teams are starting to warm up, and I think as the next 4 or 5 weeks goes on, we'll start to see the table taking shape of what we expect it to be for the rest of the season.
Yeah, some things don't change though. 3 games in, the Shamrock Rovers are top. They beat Drogheda United 3-1 at Dallas Stadium, despite losing obviously last week to Derry. Gannon, Byrne, Burke, we're pulling back to give Drogheda some hope, but Gannon's got a lovely ball with Byrne, and Byrne's finish was brilliant as well. They created a lot of chances in the game, Shamrock Rovers, and it kind of was a bit of a Jack Byrne masterclass, a little bit, Keno, wasn't it, on the day? Yeah, look, it's great. Good to see. To be honest, I'm surprised he's playing so much. I said it there. I like, he's getting to where he was. He had a good pre-season though, didn't he, Keno, I believe? Yeah, like a good fish pre-season. He still came back from a really bad injury, and I didn't expect him to hit the ground running.
I still don't think he's hitting the ground running, but like his
That's the
half
scary
play,
thing, isn't it?
yeah, and it's good for Shamrock Rovers and it's good for the league. Let's be honest, but look, 4,000 people at this game on a Monday night, which is ridiculous, and it's fantastic to see. I think the support is just, it's phenomenal around the whole league. And look, we'll touch on the next couple of games with big crowds. But, you're looking at this and you're saying, like, if they're getting 4,000 on a Monday night against Drogheda, and it's the future, and it's really good. And what's striking me is I'm looking at Pats, Derry, Sligo, every team, to be honest with you, and the amount of kids in the stadium. And, that's something that really strikes me. And, if you can just get the kids captured in that moment and just keep the kids there, all it takes.
It's great. Of course, the kids need parents to go or uncles, don't they? Obviously,
yeah, of course.
You know what I mean, with them, but it's fantastic.
All it takes is that kid to get one good memory. And they're hooked for life, and that's the way it is. And that's how we all got into it. But, that's all it takes. And, the more they're coming to the games, the more the parents are bringing them, the more of a chance they have of getting that connection with the club. And, that's something that I see, and even looking in Tallaght, especially, the amount of kids at the game is frightening. And, it's great to see. But getting onto the game, it was, it was Jack Bourne again. What a pass into Sean Gannon. And,
took it well, though.
When definitely took it well. Great finish. But, you're saying once they go 1-0 up, it's kind of, let's keep the score down now, but the type of thing. But saying that, they got it back to 2-1, and, they could have probably huffed and puffed a little bit more, I thought. And, it's scary because do you hold out? Do you hold out for that 10 minutes at the end? Or do you go for it with the chance of losing 3-1 or, 4-1? I know in the end they did lose 3-1, but, I still think they lost.
They did go for it, though, didn't they, to be fair? Because Burke gets him behind from his own half, essentially, pretty much.
And, I don't see anything wrong with that, to be honest, especially this early in the season. I wouldn't mind, like, we'll get on to the Pats game, but I wouldn't have mind losing 2-0 there. You know what I mean? If you went for it and got caught in the break type of thing. Especially this early on the season. But look, great win again for Rovers. You were starting to see them hitting top gear, I think, in terms of the way they played, especially towards the end of that game. I know it's easy when you're ahead in the game and you're winning and stuff like that. But, we're starting to see they're up in that little bit of tempo. And, they have a bit of grit about them as well. And, like we seen up in Derry, everything was going against them up in Derry. And, they scored a free kick. Look, they obviously got pipped at the end, but they are in games, and even when they're not in games, we're seeing against Pats and stuff like that. They were never in that game against Pats, and they went and they ended up winning it. You know what I mean? So that's the sign of a good team, and I think we're really going to see this out of Shamrock Rovers this year. And look, hopefully it doesn't start on Friday, but I think they're going to hit top gear very soon.
JP, 2 defeats in a row for Drogheda, obviously bottom of the table, no points now. Fairness, I think your team were bottom of the table after about 4 or 5 matches last season, to be fair. But any concerns for Drogheda?
I think the fact that they've lost their opening 2 games, I know their opening game was to be away at Harps, which would have been another tricky game for them. But they've lost to Shamrock Rovers. There's not many teams that are going to beat Shamrock Rovers this year. So I think you can sort of write that one off for them. They would be disappointed they lose at home to Shelbourne. I think we have to agree on that one. I'm not quite sure who they've got this weekend.
They've UCD this weekend, actually.
UCD, so
an interesting one.
If they don't beat UCD, that's when then you maybe start to worry for Drogheda. But I think there was probably, apart from a couple of teams in the division that didn't want to see that winner from McGonagall on Friday, and Drogheda was probably one of them, because they would have known then that they were going to come up against a wounded animal and Shamrock Rovers, and that's probably what they did get. Jack Byrne, who didn't have his great game on Friday, came on this one sort of maybe a point to prove. I don't know, but he seemed to do. Sean Gannon started on the bench on Friday. Started this one, grabbed himself a goal. Cian was right. They're going to hit top gear shortly. And when they do, who's going to stop them? Because you just see their depth that they've got. Like
Also, JP, sorry to cut across there, but I know they lost on Friday, but at the same time, like they're probably the best team to be equipped with the Friday Monday as well. To be fair,
100%. Because you look on Friday, they Gannon on the bench played. Gannon came off a bench, started on Monday. Then you've got that raft of midfielders that they've got in there. Like they could put any three midfielders in there and still be as good and as effective. And I just think that at the top end of the pitches, they're probably not as strong as maybe Derry or Dundalk, but it's in that midfield where they can rotate, and that's where they've got the advantage. And it's a good win for Shamrock Rovers. They bounced back after Friday night. I think everybody expected them to do so. If they hadn't of, it would have been a major shock. But for Drogheda, I think they'll not be too worried about losing that game. But it's the big one now for them on Friday. We'll tell where they've been. But look, there's no need to panic after 3 games. Derry lost their first 4, drew their next 2. So it's winless in their first 6 and ended up in Europe last year. So
I tell you, JP, I was nearly ringing Pieta House for you last year. I remember you talking on this. I was like, jeez, imagine being from there.
How the tables turn, literally. We get on to Derry, actually. Obviously, Derry 0, Sligo 0 at the Brandywell. And I actually tipped this one 0-0. Do you remember that, JP? The hunch of Sligo to go and dig in, get a result. Now,
did you go 0-0? I couldn't know well it was your dad's went 0-0.
I did, yeah. I'd remind you that, you see. But look, no, in fairness, though, Ed McGinty had a brilliant game. I'll start with Cian here, actually. Ed McGinty had an excellent game, kept them in for long periods. But from Sligo point of view, like to go to Pats open day of the season for them and get 3 points, followed up on the Monday with a draw in Derry. I mean, thanks very much. 4 points in the road. Them fixtures, you'd be happy enough.
Yeah, definitely. And, it was a tough start for Sligo. Probably the toughest start you could probably ask for. Do you know what I mean?
I think they've had the toughest fixtures from any other team, you'd nearly say, so far.
Yeah, because they were due to have Bows as well.
Yeah.
Bows, yeah.
But look, McGinty, he's a little master at slowing the game down, isn't he? I think we've seen that Friday firsthand. Well, we did.
He's very experienced for a young fella, though, isn't he, Cian? To be fair,
but look, Liam is now Phil, and Liam has a side going really well. I think we're seeing a different Liam Buckley in recent times with Sligo, especially this starting off this season. I've seen them sitting in a little bit more than they usually would, and that's something that I haven't really seen much from Liam.
It's just that way, Cian, because they seem to be just better defensively as a unit than say going forward in general.
Yeah, look, it was tough on Pats to try and prepare. That's no excuse on Friday night, because they haven't seen them play. The last time we seen Sligo playing pre-season, they had Matton playing centre half and things like that, and you're coming in, you're looking at basically a new side type of thing with Keane coming in and stuff like that. So it's very hard to prepare, especially with the game being called off. Look, it done nobody in the whole league any favours, to be honest. But I think Derry were the same. You don't have a lot to look at either. In terms of, they obviously would have watched in great detail the Pats game and, prepared off that. But it's very tough doing it off one game. I think they just managed the game much better. I think Sligo did. They knew how to play the game. They knew how to frustrate Derry, and I think Derry were very frustrated. There's no doubt about it. I just think, Derry just, it's all happening a million mile an hour up there at the minute. JP will be the first to tell you that the place is buzzing, and everything is, like I said, it doesn't look like the brakes are going to be put on any time soon. It's like a train and it's just not stopping, and that can't happen. That never happens. These things take these things take time. And, look, it's great that the place is buzzing up there. It's about time the place is buzzing. It's great to see the buzz. People looking for tickets to go and see Derry City. You know what I mean? If JP last year was standing outside the Brandywell with 10 tickets, you probably only get rid of 4 of them. And that's the truth. And, now we are looking and, they're like gold dust up there. And it's so nice. It's great to see the buzz. But that's over the whole league in general. But Derry more so than anyone else, especially with the signings they brought in. But it's not going to happen overnight. And to be honest with you, I think even though they didn't lose, I think last night was a bit of a leveler for them in terms of the supporters. Do you know what I mean? In terms of, hang on, we're not a ready-made article yet. And, it's going to take a little bit of time here. We've a really good side. We've a great manager. We've a good fan base. Everything's moving so quickly. Like, if you were to turn around to me a year ago and say, Derry, you'd have this team with Rory Higgins in charge and this, I'd think you're mad. So to do this in 3 months or whatever and build this, I know Rory was there earlier and he signed a couple of players beforehand, but in the off-season to really transform the club, and they've gone from 0, a mid-table, bang average club to, really challenging. And when I'd say expecting to challenge more so than anything, Derry aren't putting any names or numbers where they want to be at the end of the season. But, the fans have their own expectations like they're going to, you see the players coming in. It's hard not to, it's hard not to turn around and dream and say, we're at the bringing these lads in. We are at the keeping all these from last year. We're after adding to the squad. We finished in Europe last year. What's next? You know what I mean? How high can we go? And beating Rovers and stuff like that was obviously a massive one. Look, there's no doubt they're going to be massively disappointed they didn't go and win the game. But look, it's in a Friday, Monday, and I think it was evident, to be honest with you. The players were wrecked on both teams. It was kind of like, let's finish this. Let's get this game on. We both got out here with a point, and that's what it felt like. The atmosphere was dead after, for the second half because there was nothing happening on the pitch. There was absolutely nothing happening. And look, I think a point. I think both teams, the way the second half panned out, I'd say both teams were kind of happy enough. Look, Derry definitely the more frustrated out of the lot, and they like I said, if they want to be up there. Sligo at home on a Monday night. These are the games that Shamrock Rovers is going to go and win. Do you know what I mean? And, if Derry want to close that gap, which I'm sure they will close the gap, I've no doubt about it, but, these are the ones that you need to be winning. But look, like I says, it was a Friday, Monday, it's early in the season. There's, 23 games, 22 games left, Luke. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. So I think both teams would be happy-ish.
Yeah, JP, in fairness, I think you're probably taking 4 points, are you, from Shamrock Rovers on Friday and Sligo on Monday, no matter how they come?
Yeah, you would have expected.
Don't say no.
Oh yeah, you would be. You would have been expecting it to be the other way around.
You would actually. You probably would have taken it the way it happened. You would have taken it because to beat Shamrock Rovers, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, 100%. I was just about to say, but they beat Shamrock Rovers and draw with Sligo, and the draw with Sligo probably is a result of beating Shamrock Rovers because the players had put so much into the Rovers game. Same probably with Sligo. They put so much in. They're getting a very, very good start against St. Pat's. And Derry actually started this game brightly. Couple of great passing moves. One of them ended up in Cavan having a strike major box, which was brilliantly saved by McGinty. It looked in all the way. And McElhinney, who absolutely ran the show for the first 25, 30 minutes, played a peach of a pass over the top from McGonigal. And he killed the ball, and you're just thinking it's going to end up in the net. And he's just got too much on it, and it's hit the crossbar.
Yeah.
And a few minutes later, then again, Derry has a corner, and McGinty's coming this time. He's absolutely flapped at it, and Owen Toll's headed it wide. So there was 3 chances that Derry had to get the goal, and if they'd had got that goal, it may well have been a different story. But Sligo grew on it as the first half went on.
Yeah.
They hit the bar then for its first half stoppage time, which would have been, it was almost predicted when you're sitting watching it, because Derry had dropped off from about the 30-minute mark onward, and you're just saying Sligo haven't even got past Derry's 18-yard line, and all of a sudden one pass they're in, and I think it might have been Keena hit the crossbar, and he's had one right at the start of the second half too, where he put it wide. So there was two chances Sligo had as well, coming off the back of Derry dominating. But after that chance, the game fizzled out for the last half an hour, and it was, as Cian says, both teams were like basically saying, "We're hammered here now. Let's just get out of here with a point each and prepare again for Friday night." But Sligo, they looked like a good unit, so they did, especially once they got over that initial 20, 25 minutes. They looked a good unit. They defended well. The two centre halves. Now, it's not often we've said this since he signed, but McGonigal never got a sniff off the two of them. And yeah, Sligo were fully deserved for the point, and I think overall point was a fair result.
Yeah, Dalymount Park, I think Bohemians won, St.Patrick's 0. I was there, so was Keno there. We enjoyed that one, Keno, didn't we? But to be fair, yeah, it was an interesting match. I suppose I'll give you a bit of a description first, because obviously I was there as well. I thought it started off actually like there was going to be loads of goals in the game. I thought obviously Pat scored a goal that was disallowed. Sunday bundling into the net or struck it into the net was disallowed for, rightfully, to be honest, for offside. Bowles had a couple of little chances. I suppose Bowles got on top after the 15 minutes, Keno, without maybe being absolutely brilliant. Malin got that goal in the 49th minute for Bowles to give them the lead. And it just kind of fizzled out from a Pat's point of view, I have to say. And Bowles maybe had a couple of other chances. Actually, in the first half, Nang made a good save from Malin as well. So you'd have to say Bowles deserved it, didn't they, Keno, to be honest, on the day?
No doubt they deserved it. Actually, if you look back on the highlights of the game, man Tundi's goal wasn't even on the highlights. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I did notice that. Yeah, they didn't even show it. Yeah,
no, it wasn't even on the highlights. I was actually
they showed the only shot apart from that we had, really, pretty much. Sunday where the keeper
I've no doubt he was offside, because I haven't heard any complaints to say he wasn't. Otherwise, I obviously just seen the ball.
The players, by looking at the players, we were behind the goal, so you can't really see and you assume it's not offside. But usually you judge by the players, and no one really complained, to be honest with you.
No, so but like I said, I would have liked to say it back just myself. In terms of the game, look, Pats had probably up until about 10 minutes. Every time we went forward, we looked like we were going to score. In that first 10 minutes, I think we got forward without getting shots away, but we got forward and we looked dangerous. We looked attacking, shooting into the Pats fan. But after that, it was kind of quieting down a little bit. The game kind of petered out for the first half. They obviously had two chances. One of them was point blank range. What a save from the I swear to God, what a save. And he's starting to. I think Pats fans are starting to warm to him a little bit more now. And I think it's obviously good to see, because look,
probably Pat's best player in the night. And I don't like saying that about goalkeeper usually, because it usually means you don't play well.
And he was the same on Friday night for me as well. But it's good to see. I think he's getting a bit of confidence in himself. But Bowles weren't great, and that's the frustrating part for me, to be honest. Actually, I don't know if anyone was watching the game, but the referee blows the whistle at half time, and Pats are breaking on the halfway line. I don't know. That's just not popping into my head there. I couldn't believe he done that. I'm not saying we were going to get down the score now. To be honest,
I think definitely would have scored.
If there was no keeper in the goal, I don't think we were going to score anyway. But I have to say, I thought the ref actually managed the game really well. I don't think. Look, we always give out as fans and stuff like that about them, but. I have to say, I don't think I think he really went unnoticed in the game. Yeah. Second half, I think for Pat was poor. Look, I think we've all seen the goal at this stage, and you know, and it's tough. I feel for Jack, to be honest with you, because it's not nice. Look, if look, he doesn't need me or anyone to tell him about it. I think he knows himself. And look, we just need to get around Jack now, and we kind of need to, you know, put the arm around him type of thing, because you know that's going to hurt, and there's no doubt about it. And I think, you know, even the comments after the game and stuff, that's going to hurt. But you know, I've no doubt he'll rise up to it. He has very good pedigree for a player, and in fairness to him. And you know, I think we will see the best of him, and I'm sure of that. Hopefully, but you know, it's an individual mistake, but fair enough. But overall, I don't think we were good enough. You know, I think Derry and stuff like that on the bench and coming on, I understand we had to play Friday, Monday. So that was the change. And then we're playing Friday again with Shamrock Rovers. So, you know, we do have to rotate the squad. I've seen people giving out and stuff like that about the squad choice.
Oh, there's no way you can play the same team.
No, definitely. And I think I'll be honest, I think Tim got it right in terms of the starting team. You know, I think Tundi looked really well. I don't know, you know, whether he took him off. I'd say there was big questions about that. Why he went off, but was it with one eye on Friday, you know, and as well, I know he didn't play much of the game. He probably only got 15 minutes or 20 minutes on Friday night. And then obviously he got taken off early, but it's that to give him 90 on Friday, you know. So we need to manage these players, and I've no doubt Tim knows what he's doing in terms of that. But, you know, I just don't think Pats really went for it either.
That was disappointing, yeah.
And, you know, like I said, I would have liked to lose 2-0, going for it and getting caught in the break type of thing. You know,
I do think, you know, there was the element of the Monday from Friday thing, as JP alluded to earlier on. And to be fair to Bowes, I did think Bowes were on it a bit more in terms of bite, and something actually that Bowes, in fairness, people have been critical of, and probably ourselves and themselves, you know what I mean? They did show a bit of balls, didn't they, a little bit, though, to be fair, in the game as well.
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah, they did. And, you know, they were forced to every second ball, in my opinion, which was probably a little bit disappointing on Pat's side of things. I don't think much went on, to be honest, between Pat and Bowes in the game. I think both sides were fairly poor. I think Bowes were obviously just a little bit better than Pat's.
Did a bit more threat on the flanks with Malin, and probably particularly Twardek. I know Malin got the goal, but Twardek on the right at times is a very dangerous player, isn't he?
And they obviously got a bit of luck with the goal, and you know he still had a lot to do, and he took it well, finished it off, and you know disappointing obviously from a Pat side, but like I said, there's no point dwelling on it. You know, we're gonna have to get up and get on with it. You know, Jack for me, he's a good player. You know, I've seen him. He obviously has good pedigree. He's very highly thought of in Wolves, and you know we need to get around him now, and that goes for everyone. You know, and that's something that you know I think Pats fans are probably good for in terms of getting around the player, and you know kind of warming to him, because you know that being a little bit negative and stuff, it's not going to do anyone any good. So you know if we can get around him, I think you know he will put it right, and he will show us why he's here, type of thing, and. You know, with no doubt he will, because he's a really top fella. But, you know, in terms of Bowles, they'd be obviously buzzing with it, you know, and I think they'd be delighted, because I think it was an opportunity missed on Friday night to get 3 points against Dundalk.
I thought 4 points, Dundalk at home and Pats at home.
Look, yeah, you definitely take 4 points, but you know, I still think they'd be disappointed with how they conceded the Dundalk goals, you know, the corner and stuff like that. And look, they'll definitely take the win against Pats all day long. And I have to say, for the crowd that was there, the atmosphere that was there, was kind of flat. Even from the Bowes end and Pats now, I'm not just slating Bowes or anything like it. I'm slating Pats
even though it was packed, wasn't it? That's the funny thing about it. It was weird.
I think the shed, obviously, behind the goal, losing the Des Kelly shed it takes a little bit of atmosphere away. And, you know, I don't know. It just didn't feel like a proper league game. It didn't feel like, I know it wasn't a Friday night, but it didn't feel like a proper derby, if you know what I mean. And, you know, it was a shame because the crowd was there. But look, that's that's neither here nor there. It's all about the result for Bows, and they got the result. They got the 3 points. They'd be looking up the table now in terms of bring on the next one now. And they'd be feeling good in themselves, which is rightly so. And like I said, it's great. These Friday Monday games are brilliant if you get the results in your favour. Pats now will be looking and they'll be saying, now, we've lost Friday, disappointing to lose. We've lost Monday, disappointing. We've Rovers on Friday, then we've UCD. Then we're up in Harps, and then we're up in Derry. So, the fixtures are coming thick and fast. And, I think that's obviously for every team in the league at this stage. And look, it's not just a problem at Dublin teams, it's every team. To be honest, Dublin teams probably have it easy compared to, the likes of Derry, Sligo, Finn Harps. That's it, really. But, it's
pretty much.
They probably have it worse than anyone else. But, look, I just think Pats now just need to just reset a little bit here. I think, relax a little bit. Probably go back to a little bit of basics and, just get our starting 11 on that pitch and just start, slowly feeding our way into the game on Friday and, just try and come out with a positive result. But, in terms of Bowls, they'd be over the moon with that. And rightly so, because, they'd be buzzing with themselves and, they're going in now on the back of 4 points and, they'd fancy themselves now coming into it. Like I said, Friday, Monday, brilliant if you get the results in your right favour and you feel like you're on a roller coaster. The games are coming thick and fast and you're nearly an autopilot mode trying to get them through, So it's good that way. But look, I think I can have no complaints for Bowles winning that game.
Yeah, JP, I mean, to be honest, though, it was great to see Stephen Mallon actually come and, score a goal because Mallon, to be fair to him, player I liked a lot when he came into Derry. He had a good reputation coming from Sheffield United. A lot of injuries. And I've kept saying if you can keep him fit, he'll be a big player for both.
Yeah, when he signed for Derry, he actually was a very good signing. Scored a few goals for us. And in fact, his first goal was a wonder goal against Bohemians, and then the last game before all football was cancelled, he scored in that game too. So he definitely has the ability. As you say, it's about keeping him fit. And he went back to Sheffield United. Bowes brought him back to Ireland. I know there was a lot of people at the time disappointed from a Derry's perspective that we couldn't get him back to us. But look, it is what it is. He's moved on now. He's playing for Bowes.
I think you'd take Duffy, would you, over him?
Oh, Duffy all day long.
They just want everybody at Derry now. As I said, Stephen Bradley's next on the
list. So he had a horrible season last year with injuries. He'd be looking to have a far better. Even when he was with us, I think he had quite a few injuries as well. So he's had 2 years where he's had baller with injuries. He'll be just looking now that this season is the season where he really kicks on and kickstarts his career. He's got a goal in game number 2. And
winner as well.
I think, he's a winger as well. So he'd be looking to provide a few assists as well. I think Keith Long will be looking to manage his minutes, especially in the period of the season. So I wouldn't read too much into him going off early last night. So he's a really good player, and I hope that for his sake that he can stay fit this season and have a really good season. Pats, I think, will be disappointed, especially after a fantastic opening day one. They've now lost 2 on the points, 2 against Sligo and Bowes, and they doesn't get any easier because they've got Shamrock Rovers on Friday. So they'll be looking they get something out of that game. If not, then I don't think any team will panic at this stage of the season. But the more you start losing, it becomes a habit. It's the same for winning. If you win, winning becomes a habit. If you lose, it becomes a habit. So Tim Clancy will be looking to get that next point on the board as soon as possible.
Yeah. You there? Oh, yeah, Tassie Froze for a minute. Absolutely. We'll go on to Friday, guys. We'll just give our quick predictions even for this one. So we'll start off ahead of game Park, JP. Drogheda United UCD.
2-1 Drogheda.
Cian?
No, I think it'll be a frustrating one. I'm going to go 0-0 again.
I actually think it will be as well, but I'm going to go 1-1 this time. I think it will be one of them. Shelbourne and Derry City, JP. Packed Tolka Park.
I'm going to say 2-0 Derry.
Gino?
I think Derry will win this 1-0.
I'm going to go 3-1 Derry. Harps and Bohemians. Yeah, JP, sorry.
Balls, when you hear what
Need to watch what I say here, don't they?
6-0 balls.
I know last year Bows went up their first game of the season and I actually predicted Finn Harps would beat them and they did so, but I think Bows have started well. Harps too, so I think they'll score in this one, but I think Bows will beat them 2-1.
You know?
I don't know. No idea. No, well, I'll go with Bowles. I think they're on a bit of a roll. Lucas says when you're winning or when you're getting positive results, you can't see it ending, especially in this league. And, you know, they'll be rolling into this now full of confidence. And I think you go up there and they'll win it. I don't know. I'd say 1-0, 2-1, something like that.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1 balls as well. I think Harps will get their first goal this season. St. Patrick, Athletic and Shamrock Rovers, JP.
I'm going to say 2-1 Shamrock Rovers.
Gino?
Yeah, look, Pats will be trying to get that monkey off the back in terms of Rovers, you know, and especially last year with all them late goals and 2 in Richmond that nearly killed me. But, look, it's tough. If Pats show up and Pats are good, we can give them a game. But, you know, Pats, if performances are like they probably have been the last 2 weeks, or last 2 games, sorry, no, I think Rovers might win this easy, but I'm gonna sit the fence here. I'll take a draw here. I'll put your hand off with a draw now, I think.
I'm going to have to go, unfortunately, 2-1 for Rovers. Sligo and... Who are they playing? Sligo and Dundalk. I nearly forgot. JP, Sligo, Dundalk.
I'm going to go for another 2-2 draw for Dundalk.
You know, I think myself. First game of the season for Sligo, the showgrounds, believe it or not.
Sligo win this game.
I think they'll nick it 1-0. I think it'll be one of them.
They'll win it. They'll win it.
I think they might as well. First game of the showgrounds. Right, guys, thanks very much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Hit your bell notification button and let us know what you think in the comments. Predictions for the week's matches ahead, and let us know what you think of the games that went on Monday night. Thanks for watching.